Might God spew believers out of His mouth? You know, Revelation 3:16. There we see this description of a church, Laodicea, who, well, they're called lukewarm. And the idea is that God is going to spew them out of His mouth. Does that mean loss of salvation? Do we have to worry about God erasing our name from the book of life and spitting us out of His mouth as if that's a symbol, a shadow, a picture of losing our salvation? Well, first, let me say that being in God's mouth is never used as an illustration of what it means to be saved. We're in Christ. We're not in God's mouth. So what's going on here with Revelation 3:16? Why is this expression used? Well, actually, it is genius because this city, Laodicea, doesn't actually have hot water or cold water. Now, I'm talking about literally and physically, their city doesn't have hot water. The hot water has to be piped in from a nearby city called Hierapolis, and the cold water has to be piped in from another place called Colossae. And so here's Laodicea smack dab in the middle with no hot water and no cold water. So what's going on? Well, the reality is that by the time those waters get to the city of Laodicea, they are lukewarm. That hot water coming from Hierapolis has to travel many miles, and by the time it arrives, well, it's lukewarm, and also that cold water from Colossae, by the time it travels many miles to Laodicea, it too is lukewarm. And what do you do with lukewarm water? Well, you just want to spit it out, because it doesn't really serve a purpose. Now, I love a good cup of hot chocolate. After I've been out skiing all day, to be able to take refuge in the lodge and sip on a hot chocolate is very soothing and relaxing because hot water serves a purpose. I also love hot tubs for the same reason, to relax after a long day in the cold. Now, on a hot West Texas summer day, man, I love a cold glass of lemonade or even ice water because cold water serves a purpose. But lukewarm water, what purpose does that even serve? And that's the point that God is making with this city, Laodicea, and the Christians who dwell within. He's not talking about loss of salvation, but He's talking about loss of purpose. They have lost their purposefulness. How? By being distracted. They've taken their eyes off of Jesus. They've lost sight of their first love, and they're busy with other things. And it's not about loss of salvation, but it is about loss of focus and loss of purpose. So we don't have to worry that we Christians are in God's mouth, but maybe He's going to spit us out, causing us to lose our salvation. That was never God's intention in Revelation 3. He's not talking about loss of salvation, but He is talking about loss of purpose. And that's something we can keep our focus on, fixing our eyes on Jesus, because He's our purpose. Displaying Him is our very destiny.